Hi, I'm Robbie Bobby, adult child and para-alcoholic. If you've watched the prior videos in this series, thank you. If you haven't, please do. It'll help you to understand this one better. In this video, we'll compare two versions of Step 6 used by ACA. The standard or AA version, which is aimed at letting go of character defects accumulated in our adult lives, and the Tony A version, aimed at healing the emotional wounds of the inner child. Both versions are necessary in recovering from the effects of growing up in an alcoholic or otherwise dysfunctional family. Step 6, standard version. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. At this point in the steps, we've completed a moral inventory of ourselves and admitted the exact nature of our wrongs. In Step 6, we work on becoming entirely ready to let go of the character defects discovered in the prior steps, so that God can remove them in the next. I once heard a fellow traveler share at a meeting that they were not in the removal business, acknowledging that's God's job. This implies that willpower alone is not enough to overcome our character defects, at least the more stubborn ones. Otherwise, Step 6 would be worded very differently, such as made a decision to stop acting out on our defects. Instead, it recognizes our inability, and this inability to overcome on our own is the second admission that we're powerless. In Step 1, we admit to being powerless over the effects of living with alcoholism or dysfunction. And these effects are the 14 traits as outlined in the laundry list. In Step 6, there's a tacit or implied admission that we're powerless over the character defects revealed in our fourth step inventory, which is why we seek God's help in removing them. This follows the same path as AA and Al-Anon, where the removal of character defects is central to working the steps. Character defects, by the way, are not the same things as the traits. I see them as sitting on top of the traits. The Tony A steps, on the other hand, put the focus on healing the emotional wounds that underlie the 14 traits. Step 6, Tony A version. We were entirely ready to begin the healing process with the aid of our higher power. In the Tony A version of Step 5, we admit to the exact nature of our childhood abandonment. And this abandonment created emotional wounds. And these emotional wounds are the foundation of the 14 traits. The aim of the Tony A steps is to heal these wounds. The healing process officially begins in Step 6. Steps 1 through 5 get us to a place where we understand how we were affected by our childhood, that we're powerless over our survival traits, that the dysfunction of our parents and grandparents was passed down to us. We also made a decision in Step 3 to practice self-love. Step 6 allows us to put that decision into action. I can't think of a greater act of self-love than being ready to begin the healing process. Healing means dialing down the need to isolate, both physically and emotionally. It means dialing down the need for external approval. It means not holding on to relationships no matter what, not judging ourselves harshly, not feeling guilty for standing up for ourselves. It means feeling worthy and lovable. It means knowing who we are, and so much more. In Step 6, we open ourselves to this possibility. As an ACA, I have unhealed emotional wounds from childhood that must be healed in order to stop acting out on the 14 traits or laundry list. This part of my recovery depends upon the Tony A steps, and in particular, the Tony A version of Step 6. I must be entirely ready to begin the healing process with the aid of my higher power, and then go where that leads me. Steps 7 through 9. Furthermore, I must renew my readiness every day for the rest of my life because recovery is a lifelong process. As an ACA, I have also harmed myself and others as a result of character defects that I developed during my adult life. This part of my recovery depends upon the standard ACA steps, and in particular, the Build W version of Step 6. I must be entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, and then go where that leads me, Steps 7 through 9. And this readiness must also be renewed on a daily basis. By the way, don't worry too much about being entirely ready. This is more of an ideal or something to work towards. A willingness to be ready is ready enough to move forward to Step 7, which we'll review in the next video. And that wraps up this video, which is meant to be food for thought. If you got something out of it, please click like and subscribe and forward to a fellow traveler. Also, please leave any comments, questions, or feedback below. I'm Robbie Bobby. Thank you for listening, and as always, keep coming back.